What I'd like to try today is a distance learning. Basically, I want to learn at home based on the recording that I have here. What I'm going to ask you to do is have your note-taking guide for lesson 3.5 in front of you. And we're going to try a lesson here where I want to go over ratios and proportions. I'm going to go over the exact examples that are in our notes. This will basically going to take the place of our direct instruction during class, like when I'm up there on the overhead or on the projector doing the notes with you. So we're clear that homework for this lesson is practice 3.5 in your practice workbook. And remember, the workbook pages and answers are on our website. I want this lesson due the next time that we would have class. Let's look at our notes, 3.5, ratios and proportions. There are three ways we can write a ratio. Let's compare boys to girls in a club. There are 3 boys in the club and 5 girls in the club. I can write a ratio 3 ways. I can write, first of all, 3, the word 2, and 5. So 3 to 5. Second way I can write it is with a colon. I can write 3 colon 5. And the third way I can write it is like a fraction, 3 over 5. The next examples in your note-taking guide are fairly easy. Most people understand ratios and how to write the comparison of the two numbers. Please complete those 2 examples on your own right now. Now on the next slide I will be going over the checkpoint. Please pause the video so that you can complete the examples. Now that you have completed the examples, let's look at number 1 and 2 at the checkpoint. Number 1, we need to write the ratio as 36 over 44. What I want to highlight here is the fact that we can actually simplify ratios just like we simplify fractions. If I have 36 over 44, I realize that the numerator and the denominator are both divisible by 4. So 36 over 44 simplifies to 9 out of 11. In the second example, I have 44 over 80 as my ratio. I realize that can be simplified to 11 over 20. Now we're going to get into solving a proportion. I would like to solve a proportion using cross products. What I want you to understand is that when we write a proportion as a fraction, we can treat them like fractions, but they really are not fractions. They are a comparison of 2 numbers. But when we write them like fractions, we can treat them like fractions in the sense that in fractions, if I use a cross product, I know that the 2 cross products are equal when I have fractions. So I'm going to use that same sense here with proportion to solve it. I'm going to first solve this proportion by using cross products. I take the opposite numerator and denominator and multiply them together. So 15 times 3 is 45, and 5 times y is 5y. Knowing that those cross products are equal, I set up an equation that says 5y is equal to 45. Once I set up the equation, I realize it's simply a one-step equation like we did in lesson 3.1. I divide each side by 5 because of the property of equality. On the left side, I'm left with y. On the right side, 45 divided by 5 is 9. The solution is 9. At the checkpoint for numbers 3 and 4, I set up, using cross products, I set up the equation for number 3, 4c equals 252. I divide both sides by 4, showing all my work, to show that c is equal to 63. And number 4, using the cross products, creates the equation 8a equals 224. I divide both sides by 8 to find the solution as a equals 28. In example number 5, or checkpoint number 5, I have to set up the proportion. In this example, I have the rate of 400 over 5 is equal to 810,000 over the amount of time. To solve this, I use cross products to get 400 times x equals 4,050,000. I divide both sides by 400 because of the property of equality, and I'm left with x is equal to 10,125 minutes. Now, I would like you to try your homework for this lesson. Hopefully you found this valuable. Try your homework. If you want to, you can look at this video anytime you would like. There are also PowerPoint presentations on the website that you can look at for this lesson. Your homework tonight is practice 3.5 evens. Again, it is due the next time that we have class.